What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another Tottenham update, and we brought you the Alessandro Bastoni news coming out of that meeting yesterday, and him and his agent both confirming that they are going to be staying at Inter Milan for the next season. But Calcio Mercato are claiming today on Alessandro Bastoni that Bastoni is still Conte's #1 target, and there is a new proposal in bind, which is 30 million euros plus Davinson Sanchez. Do you think they go for that?
There was another guy who said Conte's threatening Inter Milan, right?
Yeah.
Either give us Bastoni.
I've got that here. I've got that here in the next updates. Don't you worry about that.
Okay, fine. Look, with the whole Bastoni thing, I think obviously at this point, with everything being said, it's very likely he stays. But look, you never know. Things change very quickly in football. If Skriniar deal to PSG breaks down and maybe they can't sell some of their other assets, then there might be a situation they still need to sell him. So I wouldn't completely rule it out, but I would say at this point we're probably best off looking at other targets. But obviously he's still the one Conte chooses, so he still would be our #1 target. And if there is any chance of a deal being done, we're going to keep going. And obviously, if you do think about it, I do think the agents and stuff at this point are always going to, and Bastoni is always going to say these kind of things at this stage of the deal. So I'm not too surprised that they've said that he's staying. Doesn't totally mean he is, but it probably means he is.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. But if a deal like this is going to happen, then it's probably going to be later on in the window, and we need to get these kind of targets in before that stage of the window. So I got a feeling that this probably is not going to happen. But we've got a lot of other defenders to talk about. Next up is Gleison Bremer of Torino. Obviously, Calcio Mercato say that Tottenham have set their sights on signing Torino defender Gleison Bremer. And journalist Gianluca Rossi says that the message that Conte sent to Inter is more or less, if you don't leave Bastoni with me, I'm going to go for Bremer. So Don Conte giving them an offer they can't refuse, a bit like the Godfather. The Standard are saying that Tottenham have now turned their attentions to Pau Torres and Gleison Bremer. Do you think that with Bastoni staying, that Bremer is more of a possibility now?
Yeah, I definitely think that because PSG, Inter Milan still have to sell someone to get Bremer in. I don't think they're going to sign Bremer without getting rid of one of De Vrij, Skriniar or Bastoni. I think Skriniar's looking more likely, but I think if the longer that one gets delayed for them, if we can swoop in and get Bremer, that might be a good scenario. However, it is rumoured that Bremer wants Inter Milan, so that could be a stumbling block. But I definitely think the fact that Bastoni's staying, that definitely increases our chances of getting Bremer for sure. And I think we should definitely be on our radar for somebody who can be back up to Dyer or competition for Dyer.
Absolutely. Is he left-footed or is he right-footed, Bremer?
I think he's right-footed.
He's right-footed, so probably wouldn't suit us for that left-sided role.
I mean, just because you're right-footed does mean you can't play there.
But, I think he wants someone that's left-footed, ideally.
Yeah.
Is he right?
Can't see. Centre back.
Yeah, right-footed. I think he is right-footed, to be honest. But anyway, that's Gleison Bremer. Next up, Clement Lenglet of Barcelona. Gabriel Sanz saying that Lenglet has an offer on the table from both Tottenham Hotspur and FC Porto for a loan move. Again, we don't know about the wages and everything like that. Everything that's come out over the last few days has always said that the wages are going to be the stumbling block, not doing a deal with Barcelona. So we'll have to see how that one plays out. But how high up on the list is Lenglet for you? Or low down on the list?
Yeah, not as high as Torres or maybe a couple others, but I think a 1-year loan deal wouldn't be the worst option. I think he's a good player, and if he can recapture his form, I think he could be a good option for us. So I'm not too disheartened by these links. A lot of people saying he's rubbish and don't want him, but I think he could be a good signing, especially on a year loan. Where he has to prove himself, and it depends if it depends why we're getting him. If we're getting him because the other deals just are impossible, then I think it could be a good one. If we're getting him just because we're cheap, then I wouldn't want that.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I mean, how many times would that'll be just a classic Daniel Levy move, wouldn't it? Absolutely classic, straight out the Levy playbook. But next up, Pau Torres. Javi Joquera is saying that Villarreal want Pau Torres to join Tottenham Hotspur over Manchester United in order to accelerate a deal for Giovanni Lo Celso. And the Daily Mail saying that Pau Torres is high on Antonio Conte's wish list. I've got a feeling Pau Torres is next up on the list after Bastoni.
Yeah, it makes sense. We wanted him last summer. Obviously they want Lo Celso back at Villarreal. He can play. He's left-footed. Can play left centre back. I mean, it all adds up. So I think for sure we should be looking at him very seriously. And I think I'd be very excited if we gone through the door. I wouldn't see him as a player who, like, I know if we miss down Bastoni, it's a blow, but I don't see him as like a downgrade or anything. I think he's similar level to Bastoni. Just Bastoni's younger and probably got a bit of a higher ceiling. But right now they're quite a similar level, I would say.
Fair enough. Yeah, I would like Pau Torres through the door. I've been impressed whenever I've seen him. It's just that I prefer Bastoni through the door. Next up, Sven Botman. Luke Eckwards of The Telegraph is saying that Newcastle are close to making a breakthrough in their pursuit of Tottenham target Sven Botman. And we've actually had an update from Romano in the last hour, and he says Newcastle are pushing to sign Sven Botman as soon as possible. Talks entering into key stages with Lille. AC Milan still in the race, but Newcastle are advancing. Negotiations with Newcastle started last January, and Botman is open to the Premier League possibility. I mean, if Newcastle are going to get Botman, surely we should go and gazump them.
Why?
Why? Because he's a good player.
Yeah, but what if we're in for Torres?
I mean, I was thinking more of a Botman in the centre and maybe Torres on the left.
You don't want to be in a bidding war for Newcastle.
Yeah, probably.
You know what I mean? So I unless you want to drive the price up for them to gazump us, I don't think. Botman's a good player. I don't think we should be paying over the odds, and I think we would have to if we're going to beat Newcastle to him. So that's
how much do you reckon he goes for, Botman?
If Newcastle are in for him, they can hike the price up. I think so. Probably like 35, 40.
35, 40 million. It's fairly good price. Yeah, I wouldn't want to pay anything more than that, though. That's the honest truth. But let's say if Tottenham and Newcastle both bid in like similar offers, then obviously he's choosing us. And
say that, not necessarily. If they're going to blow us away in wages.
Do you really think they'll blow us away in wages?
Why not?
Because, you know, we've got money, and then it's not like they're going to give him 200, 300 grand a week.
We have money, and there's nothing to say they won't completely. Who knows what they're going to do? Like, we have money, but we're not going to start throwing it away, like throwing it around like crazily, I don't think.
I still think, like, if we're going against Newcastle for Sven Botman, even if they offer him astronomical wages, I still think, like, if you've got a bit of ambition, you come to us. Because we're in the Champions League right now. We're a ready club. We're, like, so much more further than them in their development. Yeah,
but Newcastle, he's guaranteed to start pretty much every week. He's going to get a big pay packet. He could see himself being part of a project which could explode in the next few years. So I wouldn't necessarily think with the obvious pick.
Interesting. Well, let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts are on that. Harry Kane up next. Sammy Mockbell saying that Tottenham are confident that they can convince Harry Kane to remain at the club for his entire career. Lifetime contract coming for Harry Kane.
I hope so. Look, obviously a lot has changed ever since last summer. A year's a long time in football. We could see that. And I think there's a good chance he signs a contract this summer, I would say. And I don't see why not. I think he should be
maybe Newcastle can offer him 500 grand a week.
They could, but they'd have to get us first, wouldn't they?
Absolutely.
And I don't think we're accepting any bids from Newcastle.
That's true.
So I think Harry Kane should.
What if Newcastle came in with like a world record bid? What do you reckon?
Well, for Harry Kane?
Yeah. Do we think we accept that?
200 million?
Yeah.
Probably would accept it, yeah.
Do you reckon he would go?
Depends. What, now, this summer?
Yeah.
If we got bid for 200 million, and no, I don't think he would go. Because I'll tell you why. Because I think he cares about his records, and I think he wants to become the Premier League all-time record and stuff like that. And I think that is under threat if he goes to Newcastle at this point.
Interesting. Next up is Ollie Skipp, the last update for today's video. We've got Ollie Skipp from Ali Gold saying Ollie Skipp is now really good fitness wise. He's ready and raring to go for the first day of pre-season to hit the ground running, and that is music to all our ears. We missed Skippy massively last season, and I cannot wait to see him back on that pitch.
Yeah, 100%. And I think I think he's going to be a very important player for us, and I'm hoping as well that we see an even better Skippy than the one before his injury, and before he got ruled out for so long because he was playing with an injury. So I'm looking forward to Skippy back in the squad, back with playing time, and look, this guy, the way he's progressing. Like he could be I think he's one of the best young defensive mids in the league right now, and I'm really excited to see what he can do with more time under Conte, a full pre-season under Conte.
Yeah, thinking about the best young defensive mids in the league, who else is there? Just off the top of your head.
I would say Rice. I don't know how old Rice is now.
Rice is about 21, 22. So yeah, he definitely counts.
He's probably a bit older than that now. Probably 23. Right.
Maybe 23. 23, yeah.
Yeah. You got, who else you got there? I can't think off the top of my head. So he must be up there.
The best.
Yeah.
Nah, but that's music to all our ears as Spurs fans. Looking forward to seeing him back. But that is your Tottenham update for today. Actually, before we go, Spurs have dipped in and signed Rangers' chief scout, I believe, to help us with the recruitment. I mean, I don't think he's part of the scouting network or scouting team. I'm not sure what he's actually been brought in to do. But apparently this guy was very central to this Rangers rebuild, bringing them back from the Championship in Scotland back up to the SPL to eventually win it, and was really a key figure into restructuring the team and bringing in all those kind of young talents, played really well for them and won them nearly won them the Europa League.
And we heard, haven't we, that they're looking for Paratici to bring in a number 2. Seems like he's going to play that role.
Andy Scolding is his name.
Yeah, so
he'll become assistant performance director, whatever that means.
God knows what that means. But
it feels like at Spurs they're making up like these roles every year.
Assistant performance director. So is Paratici the performance director then?
I thought Paratici was director of football or something like that.
What's assistant performance director? Who's the performance director then? I don't know. But look, we've heard, as I said, that Paratici wanted a number 2. Seems like they've got him one now, and hopefully that brings forward plans for this summer.
Absolutely. All right, so that is a Tottenham update for you today. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any thoughts regarding any of the news stories we brought to you today. Like, subscribe and comment, and as always, come on you Spurs.